Let's talk about a polenta. Polenta, all right, is made with cornmeal. So write that down so you know what it is. So if someone asks you what's polenta, polenta is a cornmeal, okay, that is bloomed or thickened in some type of liquid. Usually it will be stock or milk of some sort. There's two types. Do you remember from last year? You made a soft polenta, right? That tastes more like mashed potatoes.
Is that the one we had with like the mushroom ragu?
Yes, with the mushroom ragu. This one's a hard polenta, okay? And the hard polenta is a 3-to-1 ratio. So 3 parts of the liquid to 1 part, right? 1 part of the cornmeal. 3-to-1. Liquid is 3 parts, cornmeal is 1 part. When you're talking about making a soft polenta, do you remember what it is?
5.
It's a 5-to-1 ratio, so there's a lot more milk. And in order to do your polenta, remember once it's cooked, it's very easy to go and you got to make sure that it siphons up very fast. So you got to make sure you make it creamy and make it stay creamy. That make sense? Oops. So then when you're doing a soft polenta, it's a 5-to-1 ratio. That's where you add more cheese, you add more cream, you add a lot more stuff to make it really soft and fluffy. The hard polenta, you're going to mold it into some type of ramekin. If it's like a lot, I usually do it in a big tray, okay, lined with oil. All right, and what that does is that you cool it in the, you kind of mold it so that there's no air pockets, no wrinkles, I would say. Cool it in the fridge, and then when you go and cut it out, you cut up into different types of cubes and you pan fry it, okay? And we use it like a bread, so it becomes like a polenta, a little stiff, like little cake almost. And then what you do is that you put stuff on there. So I put pulled pork out there before, brisket on there. We're just doing a vegetable ragu today. You understand? Ratatouille, you could do that, okay? So when you're doing a polenta, I want a hard polenta with something that will go saucy to go on top. That will complement it. Your choice, okay? Be creative. I'm looking at your creativity. Secondly, let's talk about quinoa. Quinoa is a whole grain and actually has protein in it too. All right. The way we cook the quinoa is very similar to how you would cook the couscous. All right. For the couscous, it's a 1-to-1 ratio. So write that down. So 1 part couscous. So it's a half a cup of couscous. It's half a cup of water. And all you do is just pour the 2 together. Okay, you could toast the couscous. So this is a couscous right here. They're mini pellets of semolina. All right. So what you do is that you just cover it with the water until the water all dissipates, and that's it. 1-to-1 for the couscous. Okay. For quinoa, it's 1.5 for water to 1 part quinoa. You need to know the proportions. Okay. So start memorizing the proportions. Sounds good? Okay.
Wait, so it's 1.5 parts liquid
to
quinoa?
To 1 part quinoa. Yeah. Whenever I say 1 part is usually that grain. Okay. Sounds good? And same thing. You quickly saute your quinoa. All right. Now this comes washed, but usually if you have raw quinoa, it has a bitter taste. That's the same thing. The coating actually has the same type of coating as you put on pesticides. Okay, so you need to rinse it out so it doesn't have the bitterness and you don't eat the pesticide. But now they wash it before they package, so you don't have to do that step anymore. All right? Okay, so you guys got that part? So you got the couscous, the Israeli French lentils. Really simple. I have it right here. These are called lentil de pois, very different from the Indian ones. Okay, they are a little stiffer. It actually has a little bit more texture when you eat it. It should be like you cook this one and the Israeli couscous like pasta. All right? Okay? The only thing you don't do though is boil it. You want to poach it. Okay? So write down it's like a pasta method but you poach it. Okay? So I have some water and I'm gonna poach it, not boil, because you want it so that it stays intact and it's still one whole thing. So when you eat the grain, it should be like pasta where it's still a little bit al dente but not crunchy. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah? Okay, let's talk about the Spätzle. Spätzle is a German dumpling. And the German dumpling is made with flour and egg and milk. Preferably bread flour. You basically make the mix like as if it's a very thick pancake batter. Okay? Once you have the thick pancake batter, you're going to go and poach it in the water and then shock it in ice water. Okay. Does that have, and then usually you pan fry it after. So it's kind of like the gnocchi, you know what I mean by that? That you poach it, put it in ice water, then you pan fry it. Okay. Farro and barley is really simple. I'm already cooking the farro now. It's like same thing as wheat berry, same thing as like any type of really large whole grain. When you guys take it, it should be like grains, whole grains. So this is actually done, okay? And what you need to do for the farro or the barley is soak it overnight. If you don't soak it overnight, most likely what will happen to it is it's gonna go and take over an hour to cook. All right, so what I'm gonna do is a farro fried rice. So I substitute the rice today. Okay, so I'll try to do it as best as I can in order. Hopefully you can see what's happening in the pots. But I'll have all my mise en place ready to go, and I'll make the grains first, then I'll put the accompaniments together after. All right, sounds good. Okay, let's get going. Pasta. You're just going to cool it down like this. So do you understand that a lot of methods for grains are the same? Yeah? Okay. So I'm just going to go and cook them all first, and then afterwards I will kind of do the rest after how to saute it back. Start off by doing my lentils. Okay, so my lentils, I have it in here. So same thing as my couscous, I have water bubbling. It's been bubbling for a while. So I'm just going to go and add some salt. And this is for the Israeli couscous and the lentils. Okay? Okay? Don't forget about it. Give it a stir. And let it poach until, like the farro, it's al dente. Okay? Shouldn't be crunchy. And you see that it's starting to slightly burst. Okay? But not like fall apart. You understand what I'm saying? Very different from Indian lentils. You want it to keep it whole. So I'm poaching it, letting it slowly, you see it, it's poaching, not simmering. The farro that you saw, or the farro, it's you actually fully boil it like pasta. Do you see the difference? Okay, so this one you boil, this one you poach. All right, that's all you need to do. You poach it, and so cooking the grain is not that hard. It's what to add to it to make it tasty. Okay, so that's the lentils. It takes around 15 to 20 minutes poaching around. Okay, but I would eat one. Let's talk a little about your quinoa before I start with my spätzle. My quinoa, I'm gonna go and start by turning this on, and I usually like to add spices to this quinoa. My favorite one is cumin. I don't know why, it just goes really well. It goes really well with it, but you don't have to. Okay, so I'm gonna do mine plain for now because I actually have some spices in my my mixture already, so I'm gonna leave it. Okay, and what's gonna happen is I'm gonna add a little bit of my olive oil. Okay, and turn this on, and I have a half a cup, so that means I will have at least 3/4 of a cup of water. quinoa had some turmeric, a little bit of cumin, and some onions, and a little bit of raisins. So I'm making a Moroccan style one, which goes really well if I want to do some kind of chicken. So I add my grains and I'm toasting it. Maybe most of you know how to do quinoa because it's like a big fat. Okay? It is a really good grain as an alternative. Okay, so once you added that, you kind of toast it. You're going to add a little bit of salt to it. Then you're going to go and add quickly, without letting it disappear, all the water. Okay, and you let it cook down. Okay, okay. Why I did that was because I want to get the flavors out. Okay, so I'm going to put a lid on it now. You could do this with cranberries. I made one with turkey and cranberry in here before, and I added pieces of brie. I did that before. I added like pecans or pumpkin seeds and stuff like that. So quinoa, very versatile. Couscous, same thing. All right, is that good? Okay, so I'm going to put that over here and let it do its thing. I'm going to go and do the polenta now. Before you start your polenta, you need some kind of container. Okay, I'm doing a little bit of the polenta, and it's going to be a 3-to-1 ratio. So I have 3 parts of the my milk in there. I'm going to add a little bit more. This is a hard polenta. You won't be making soft. You will be making the hard one. So that'll take one extra step. You'll add a little bit of oil or butter, whatever it is you want. Okay, I'll add a little oil. I'm going to do the goat's milk. Sorry. You need the quinoa.
Chef, how much milk did you put in the pan?
Huh?
How much milk did you put?
3-to-1, right? I'm making hard polenta, so I have a quarter cup. So how many? 3 parts of, so 3/4, correct. Okay? So you shouldn't be needing more than this, okay? The key to this is to work fast. So I'm gonna have this guy ready to go, and I'm gonna go and have my wooden spoon ready to go. Don't use a whisk this time, okay? So these 2 are ready to go. I have boiled this. Please be quick with it, okay? And I'm gonna go and add a little bit of color. So I have some parsley to go with it. I'm gonna salt this up, all right? If you want to go and make it more flavorful, add some spices in here. Add some cayenne pepper. You can add chopped garlic and saute it first with some butter. You can do some shallots in here. You can add sun-dried tomatoes in here. You know what I mean? Like, have fun with it. Just don't just do the basic. Have fun with it, okay? Because I'm doing 6 right now, but I want you to do 2 at a time. So you should have enough time to do some, okay? Because the grains actually don't take that long, except for the farro. As long as you soak it overnight, it actually takes only 20 minutes to go and cook. Okay. So now that I'm waiting for it to bubble. So I'm gonna go and turn this to maximize it, and I'm gonna go and I think I'm sticking with this one. I'm gonna go and start to rain this down. Okay. Now, this is very key. A lot of people don't fully cook the polenta, and I think to me it's the worst taste in my mouth that I've had. Even worse than having salt. Because when you don't cook your polenta, it tastes like gritty sand. And it tastes like I just ate a mouthful of sand. Alright? So, and besides, you guys are supposed to kind of fully cook it. So, make sure that when you're eating your grain, taste it to see if it's fully cooked. Grains, when it's raw, it tastes pretty awful. So I'm just gonna go on. You can add cheese at this point, so I can add Parmesan. Okay, I could add goat's cheese. I could add basically anything that I want to add to here. So there's 2 parts to it. You're cooking the actual polenta, and the other half is pan frying it. So I'm just cooking it out, and I'm stirring it constantly. If you're gonna do the polenta, I would suggest you doing it first and getting your stuff boiling. So I'm multitasking, right? I have a pot of water, I have the quinoa going. Okay. It's still not done yet because it's not stiff enough. So I'm just gonna cook it out a little bit more. And it's looking like porridge, okay? It gets from the porridge stage until like almost like a fluffy stage. Do you guys remember making polenta? Do you guys remember making it? Yeah? Okay. So you need to have it fully bloomed, ready to go. I usually add a knob of butter just so that I could make it melt a little bit in here. And it helps to stop the cooking process. Once I have that, I'm just going to give it a taste. It's fully cooked now. And this is when I have to work fast. I'm going to add my herbs because if I added it in the beginning, it won't have that great, nice green look to it. And then instantly, I need it to be this wedge. And I'm gonna go and pour. I'm gonna go and pour it right into my mold. You want to make sure that there's no lines or air bubbles. Okay? You want a smooth top. So then what you're gonna do is tap it. And if you want to go and make it smooth, just take a little bit of water and just smooth out. So you want it so that there's no creases. So you have to work fast, but bless you. Okay. Okay, now that you have that going, do you see how so it's set in the fridge? And then afterwards, can you put it in? It's hot on the bottom. Set in the fridge, okay? And that'll be good. Okay, so here, I see that my quinoa is not done yet at all. How do I tell that quinoa is done? It actually is transparent, and then there's a little, I call it like a little tadpole tail that it comes out, it unfurls. So I'm going to go and add a little bit more water, and then you're going to go and cook it. The reason why I did that is because also I didn't compensate that the onions and the raisins are going to soak up some of the water. Okay, so I should have done 2-to-1 ratio. Alright, so we've done the polenta, we've done the quinoa, we've done the lentils, we've got the farro. I'm doing the spätzle now. Alright, so I have the spätzle. Should I switch? I'm going to do a spätzle with brown butter and everything else, but how you're going to make it is you're going to take a bowl and you're going to go and add your egg. Okay? Want to, because if I'm doing a pork dish, mustard and pork goes really well together. Okay? Okay, then I'm just going to take a rubber spatula and then beat the egg up. Okay? And I'm going to slowly add my bread flour. Okay? All of it. But the recipe that you have, alright, should be for 1 egg around like 3 tablespoons of flour. Okay? So I'm making it into a paste. Now, for this one, it's okay if you work it a little harder. Okay. So I have this paste going on. And then afterwards, I might need a little bit more. Just a little bit more. Because I'm going to also add like 2 tablespoons of milk. Okay. So I'm just going to beat this in. Yeah, or bread flour, sorry, bread flour. You can do whole wheat flour too if you want. So it looks like a really thick batter, right? Like a pancake batter, all right? And then I'm just gonna adjust it now. A little bit more. Yeah, so this is when you get to beat this up. Take out the anger you want. I'm going to go in and add a little bit of chopped herbs in there. Okay? So you want it so that when you actually make it, it's a little bit stretchy. You understand what I'm saying? It's like quite stretchy. Then, once you have that going, okay, you're going to go and start poaching it. So the key to this also is to not have the water at full blast, because you're going to, I'll show you why. You will have one of these on. There is a Spätzle noodle maker, but we don't have it. So we're in the restaurants, this is how we make shift. We get like holy colanders or pans, and then what we do is we just put it over, and then we quickly work it in. Okay? So I will take my flour mixture over to the poaching liquid now. The steam is going to cook the dough, so at this point you need to be really fast. So I put this all in, take my spatula or my, what do you call this thing? Scraper, plastic scraper, sure. Okay, and it goes all at once, and you're gonna do large strokes, okay? So don't take your time with this one. If you're gonna take your time, your yield will be really small. So you're gonna go and bake large strokes back and forth, okay? Because you're gonna try to make little dumplings. So you're gonna press it through, use all your weight on here, and you're gonna press it right through. All right? So if it's the right consistency, which it is, you'll have, I call a sperm-like noodle. Just for fun. Yeah, but tastes, I don't actually want to know. Let's just not go there. But it looks like this. Looks like little noodles. All right? That look like, I don't know, looks like little tadpoles. Okay? So once it actually floats, like so, it's ready to go and take it out and into my ice water. Yeah, and then once it sinks, it's ready. Okay? So you want this noodle look. So getting the batter to be the right consistency is key. So if you need help and you say, Chef, is this right? I'll tell you. You can ask me. Okay? But you want to go and get the Spätzle into this consistency. And like I said, the hint that I can give you is to go fast and go long strokes. Okay? And push hard. So, and it goes like this. Once I have it ready, I'm ready to go and do whatever I need to do for my other, putting it all together. Okay. All right. You don't need to see me put it together, do you? You now know how to cook it? Yeah? So can I give you some time to go and plan? Okay? I'll give you 15 minutes to plan. So when you're done with the Spätzle, and you took it out of the water, when you take it out of the water, you're going to go and pan fry the Spätzle, and the Spätzle will be golden brown, just like the gnocchi that you've made from before and previously. So I have done it with squash and Spätzle. The only thing that you have to be careful of is if you add too much into the pan, it will end up sticking. So you don't want to dump it all at once. And you want it to have a hot pan so it doesn't stick. So it'll be golden brown. So you're going to go and take the polenta. It's already seasoned. So all you do is just add some oil and you're just going to pan fry. The key to this is making sure that your pan is hot, or else when you fry it, it will end up sticking all over the pan. So heat up your pan, then heat up the oil, and then pan fry. Use the offset spatula to flip over one time. That's it.